Having an evening routine with a few basic habits that every day improves my health and boosts my productivity has been invaluable in terms of getting me to where I am today. There are a few daily habits that I've added quite recently actually that have significantly improved my productivity in a very kind of effortless way. Evening routines are, in my opinion, just as important as morning routines, but they're often overlooked. They have a very different purpose. A morning routine should be designed to start your day strong with good momentum, but an evening routine is more about relaxation and unwinding, but also preparing you for the next day too. So my evening routine usually starts at pretty much exactly 6 PM. That's when I eat dinner. I used to eat a lot of rice. I'm living in Vietnam and rice is a food staple here. Almost every meal comes with a plate of rice, but I noticed I was feeling tired and fatigued every time I finished eating. And lately I've been training with a personal trainer and I've been on a no sugar, no dairy and no carb diet, and I don't want to speak too soon because it's only been a couple of weeks, but so far I've seen some phenomenal results in terms of having more energy during the day. I rarely need to nap anymore. I feel less bloated after eating. My strength is going up at the gym. I feel so much more productive. Anyway, I do want to make a video on that, but I'm going to wait a couple of months just to make sure it's not all a placebo. So after I eat, it's about 6:30 PM. I'll usually go to a coffee shop for a couple of hours to fit a bit of work in. Now, this is usually pretty chilled out work. I do tasks that are quite easy and more relaxing, and the more complex, intensive tasks, I usually get those done first thing in the morning. So on an evening, I'll be replying to emails, making calls, taking coaching calls, tasks that I actually kind of like doing. And at this time, at about 7 or 8 PM, if I've had a really busy day, honestly, sometimes I'm just a bit too tired to continue working. So I'll occasionally read a book or a book summary app to help me unwind, and that's where this video sponsor Shortform comes in. Shortform is a book summary app with a library of thousands of non-fiction books covering topics such as productivity, motivation, and lifestyle, and they drop new book summaries every week. But Shortform is so powerful because when you're reading, you're learning passively, right? But it's really easy to just zone out when you're reading a book. What Shortform do with their app is that they have exercises at the end of each summary which help activate your neurotransmitters so you're actively engaged when you're reading, so you're absorbing far more information. It's really useful for rereading books as well. If you've read a good book a year or 2 or 3 years ago, instead of having to reread it, which can take 8 hours or so, you can read the book summary on Shortform. It's honestly just a really good app for absorbing huge amounts of information in short amounts of time. I've just finished reading Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, where he talks about basically the psychological blueprint you can follow to wake up and start taking control of your life. It's incredibly powerful, and I really recommend you check it out on Shortform because I've put a unique URL in the description of this video, so all my audience that click on the link will receive a 20% discount off their annual subscription. So on an evening when I'm at the coffee shop, this is also the time that I figure out what I'm going to do the next day, so I write the task list for that day. For example, I've recently bought a new phone. After being on Android for 11 years, I went ahead and bought an iPhone 13 Pro, and I actually just uploaded a video about how I feel about that because Apple and Android are more different than I was expecting. You can click on the pop-out banner above to watch that video, but anyway, I need to transfer all my photos from my old phone to my new phone, so I'll add it to my task list to do that tomorrow. And this is really important because in my opinion, you shouldn't really be planning your day in the morning. You should be planning it the night before, so as soon as you wake up the next day, you can go straight to work. You know what you need to get done. There's no delay or thinking about what you need to do, because at that moment when you're thinking about it, that's when you're vulnerable to procrastination. So I have a task list that I write in the evening, and I have a very loose daily schedule that tells me the 1 or 2 main tasks, the tasks that absolutely need to get done that day. So for example, Monday is the day that I film. So on Mondays, I'm usually working from home in my home office because that's where I film and make these kind of videos. Another daily habit that I've implemented for about 2 weeks so far is drinking 3 liters of water a day. I usually stop drinking about 4 PM though, just so I don't have to keep waking up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. However, I'll fill up a 500 ml cup of water, so as soon as I wake up in the morning, it's there ready to drink. drink. I think it's really important to hydrate yourself as soon as you wake up. I didn't realize how important this was until I started doing it, and now within 30 minutes of waking up, I drink at least 1 litre of water. There are so many side effects of dehydration, like feeling tired during the day, feeling dizzy, dry mouth, lips or eyes. So if you're suffering from any of those effects, especially lacking energy during the day, then it could be a good idea to create a habit of drinking 2 to 3 litres of water a day. I have an alarm on my phone that goes off at 9:30 PM just to remind me that I should start heading to bed. It's really easy to get consumed with work, and before you know it, it's midnight and you're still not in bed. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me, but since setting an alarm at night, it's helped me so much because it's almost impossible to forget. I was watching an interview of the late strength expert Charles Poliquin, and he said the easiest way that the average American can experience a significant boost in health and just the overall quality of life is to sleep an extra 1 hour or 2 hours a night, because most of us just aren't getting enough sleep. And if you're someone who struggles to wake up in the morning, a lot of you will be setting your alarms early in the morning, but it's the wrong way round. You should be setting your alarm in the evening so you go to bed earlier, and naturally it will be far easier to wake up the next day. Just before I sleep, I take a shower. I have 2 showers a day, one in the morning and one in the night, and it was only a few years ago that I realized that this is a bit weird. Most people that I know of anyway, they shower only once, either in the morning or in the evening, but I like to do both. It's just what I've done my whole life. Now, the last thing I do before bed, and this is where I cheat a little bit, so I spend some time catching up on social media, replying to anyone that has messaged me throughout the day that I haven't gotten back to yet, because honestly, I'm quite bad at replying to people during the day. I don't like how, if I'm busy working, replying back to someone will kind of distract me from my work and I'll lose focus with the task that I'm supposed to be doing. So I reply to anyone that has messaged me just so I'm not ignoring them, and I'll check emails one last time, check Facebook newsfeed, Instagram stories, that kind of thing. I usually spend 5 to 10 minutes doing this rather than checking throughout the whole day. It's kind of a habit now. I spend 5 minutes checking social media in the morning as soon as I wake up, and 5 minutes at night before I sleep, and that's pretty much it for the whole day. And finally, just before I'm about to fall asleep, I watch Netflix for 15 to 20 minutes until I drift off to sleep. Now honestly, I've tried reading just before I go to bed, I've tried journaling, I've tried meditation, but the 15 minutes before I fall to sleep at the end of the day, I just want to kind of chill out. I don't want to be thinking about work or trying to eke out that extra 15 minutes of being productive. But to me, watching Netflix isn't that interesting, which is good because I fall asleep a lot easier. If I opened up YouTube, it could take me 2 or 3 times as long to fall asleep because YouTube is faster paced. It's designed to keep you hooked and keep you engaged. The algorithm is designed for you to click from one video to the next and keep you on the platform. And so watching YouTube just before bed is just too stimulating compared with Netflix, which sends me to sleep a lot faster. So like I said, an evening routine is incredibly important for productivity, but also for kind of just unwinding and relaxing at the end of the day. But a strong evening routine is so much more effective if you have a strong morning routine to step into as soon as you wake up. And I made a video recently on my 6 AM morning routine to maximize productivity. You can click on the card on the screen. Alternatively, I made another video on my 6 rules for a productive 24 hours. So if you're struggling with procrastination during the day, then you can check that video out. And once again, you can check out this video's sponsor short form by clicking the link in the description below, where all visitors to my URL will receive 20% off on their annual subscription.